Nick
Welcome, everybody. We are live. A special live edition of the DIY Detail Podcast. We did a little high production countdown here on YouTube. We are joined by the wonderful C6 team live in Omaha, Nebraska. Taylor, John, and Yvan LaCroix. How are we doing, everybody?
Doing great.
Doing good.
All right, so here's how this is going to work, because I'm back in Utah from the home studio. I'm going to monitor comments as best I can. Please, everybody, let us know if you can hear everybody in the Omaha DIY Detail headquarters. I'm going to answer questions or relay them to Yvan, John, and Taylor. And Yvan, why don't you give us a sense of what y'all are doing here today?
So today we have this beautiful 72 Blazer. And what we'll be doing with the Blazer is doing the app, so the C6 adhesion promoter polish, and then applying C6 diamond to it. So a lot of fun. And if you have questions, please ask the question to the person. So when you're typing your question out, put my name, John, or Taylor's name, and we'll answer, or Nick for that matter. He's there as well. Yep. So whoever can answer the question will. I don't know how many people we're going to have in this live. So if there are any, times where we got way too many people on and we can't get to all your questions, please, after the live, put them in the comments below. We'll go there and answer.
Okay, audio is good, everybody's saying. Just so y'all know, the marvel of technology, they're able to hear me through my Apple earbuds, and then we're actually talking through StreamYard, which is the technology. So if it looks goofy what I'm doing, doesn't really matter. The show must go on, Yvan. And before we start, Yvan, why is DIY Detail ceramic coating such a high price compared to other brands that at the end of the day, they're saying, Greg says, do the same thing?
They don't do the same thing. The DIY coatings are actually very inexpensive, considering that you get at least 2 vehicles out of a bottle. So you can coat your car for $30. The C6 coatings, because of the technology in the coatings, the price is there. Think of it as the DIY coatings are your standard Mercedes S-Series, S-Class, whereas the DIY coatings are the Formula One for Mercedes.
All right, and by the way, John and Taylor, we just had someone, XM Go, saying first time seeing Taylor in a video. Do y'all want to just reintroduce yourself to the people? It's not just Yvan LaCroix over here.
Yeah, absolutely. So for people who don't know me, I'm Taylor Engel. I am the Ag and Industrial Rep for C6. So my job role being that I am introducing the industrial coatings that we're going to be using on a lot of industrial settings, ag equipment, farm equipment, construction equipment, and anything related to the ag sense of any detailing is going to come to me. So
and Yvan, I can hear you when Taylor's talking, so we're losing Taylor. Sorry, go ahead, Taylor.
Oh, yeah. So back to it, like I said, we've designed an industrial coating that we're going to be using for extreme duty purposes. So, stuff that's out in chemicals, fertilizer plants, construction equipment that sits out in the sun. Not your typical every, day-to-day classics, so to speak. So with what we're doing with C6 Industrial and C6 Ag, we got some really big things coming down the pipeline.
It's so exciting, the industrial side of it, and we're going to get to that, I'm sure, in this podcast and later on. So stay tuned for that, everybody. Jetty Costello says, Yvan, hi, guys. My question is, can you use incredible studs instead of rinseless wash to remove the polishing oils after polishing the panels on the vehicle? If so, is panel prep really needed?
First of all, incredible suds, not the best idea for that. And yes, you still need panel prep. The panel prep is not only to get rid of what the incredible suds or what the rinseless may have left behind, but also the polishing oils, etc. So even though, yes, the rinseless wash is going to break down those polishing oils, it doesn't remove everything. It just makes it easier to remove the polish residue.
There you go. Umberto wants to know what color it is. I think we know he's colorblind.
It's orange. Bright orange.
Jason says, what's my favorite rinse aid? Ceramic Gloss C6 Ceramics Mist is a close second. And then Ryan L. asks a very important question. Is Taylor allowed to work in things other than farm equipment? I mean, can he even do this? Does he even belong here?
Honestly, I don't think I belong in something as nice as this. It's not dirty enough for me.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it, Yvan.
You know Ryan Loeffler.
Yeah,
so yeah.
Absolutely.
There's so many questions. You want me to keep firing at you, or you want to talk, Yvan?
Well, we can keep firing. If we have a lot of questions, we'll polish this and code it later.
Okay.
If people want to just ask questions and answer questions, we can do that. But
can we coat the wipers with ceramic coating products? Christopher Brown's asking.
No. You can. Should you? No.
David Bradshaw says, Taylor, he's relying on you to get this stream demonetized. I don't know what that means. All right, let's keep on keeping on, Yvan.
Yeah. So as you ask us questions, Nick, we'll answer them. But in the
Okay.
meantime, we can start doing
Well,
the
Gavin
app on
wants
this.
to know how's the RV doing, Ivan.
The bus is doing great.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. A lot of people are saying hello. Hello to everybody. We're just trying to deliver as much information to folks. Okay, a lot of people are just saying hi. So hi to everybody. Ivan, walk me through what's going to happen. So we've washed, we've decontaminated, right? This is the ceramic coating stage. Set the scene for what these gentlemen with the red pads are doing.
Yeah. So let me just get their mics from them.
Okay.
While they're doing that, we'll just mute their mics for a second. Wow.
This is high-tech live Q&A for everybody.
Okay.
Where's everybody watching from? I'm back in Utah. These amazing gentlemen are in Omaha at DIY Detail headquarters. Becca Green says, whose vehicle is this, Ivan?
So it's a friend of the channel's, and it's a marvelous machine. It's a 72. It has been repainted, but it's a factory error. Has never, it doesn't have any Bondo in it, and they're all original panels.
All original panel. That's so cool. It was sitting in the garage for the 2 weeks I was there as well. Ivan, there's some questions coming in, but can you explain app real quick, like what's happening to the vehicle after the wash, after the decon, after the dry? We're applying app instead of panel prep.
So app acts as a panel preparation stage, meaning that it's doing a deep cleaning, but it's also swelling the paint. This particular unit has base coat, clear coat. 72, it would have, if it were the original paint, it would be single stage, but it works on both single stage and that. What we're doing is applying the app, and it's just applying. So the polishing is done. We call it adhesion promoter polish. It does have a bit of abrasive in it, but you're not going to get paint correction out of this. It's just to really deep clean the paint.
S Pro Detailing says, can we coat absolutely anything on the vehicle with ceramic?
Yeah, we can.
Bruce's Garage
We can
says,
definitely
Nick,
coat
just
anything
like
on the vehicle, yeah.
Bruce's Garage asks if this is just like being on the news. It's a little bit different. It's a lot more fun, a little more relaxed. It's a lot more fun. Folks are here from Dallas, Texas. Christopher Brown. Shane Stevens from Montana. What's up, Shane? Mike Hoffman heading to New York tomorrow for college move-in weekend. All right, but he's in New Hampshire right now. Gavin's in Michigan. Folks all over the country, it looks like.
Cool.
All right, Joel Detailing says, what's up, guys? What's up, brother? How you doing? All right, Ivan K says, Ivan, the app helps with preventing high spots, right?
Yeah, correct.
The adhesion promoter polish does?
Yeah, it really makes the coating dive into the paint, if I can put it that way. The application of the coating is so much easier when we have the app.
Okay, there's a question from Jason that I want to ask, and then I want to get to an ag question for Taylor. But Jason Keaton says, I just purchased my first products from DIY. Tons of stuff. Appreciate that, Jason. Going to stack 3-year and 5-year. Can you tell me best steps from beginning to end?
The best thing is to watch our channel. So basically, but in short, you want to wash, you want to decontaminate, you want to panel prep, then apply the coating.
Hey, Salvador, could you put a video?
Videos on applying coating.
Yeah, Sam, could you put, if you're watching, Salvatore Woodyard, could you put a video of where we ceramic coat a vehicle in the comments, and then that can help see Wills. Appreciate you, man. All right, the next question. This is for the C6 guys, and it's from C Wills. I just retired from John Deere. Have you guys reached out to them about maybe a collaborative effort for an upgrade, or at least reach out to dealers to see if they want to upsell?
Yeah. Here, I'll give you back to Taylor here for a second.
Taylor, did you hear me? I guess you can hear me.
Yeah,
You just
I
have your
did
mic, right? Okay. This is the first time for us doing this live, guys, so we appreciate your patience.
Yeah.
Oh, and Carl Heinz Peel says hello from
German's
Germany.
wrong.
Hello, guten Tag. David Bradshaw from Toronto. What's up, David?
There you go.
All right, and I don't know, can you guys hear Taylor? Because I'm not hearing you. Make sure I can hear you, Taylor. Okay, I've got you. I think the polisher in the background might be messing with the way the mic's picking up the noise. But a guy named C. Wills says, have you guys reached out to John Deere about maybe a collaborative effort for an upgrade, or at least reach out to dealers to see if they want to upsell? And I obviously talking about ag coatings.
Yes, 100%. So one of the things that we've always focused on is,
I think we're taking some hits, guys. Can anyone comment if we're taking hits? I can't. Can you guys hear Taylor, or am I going crazy? All right, his mic is off, you guys. Too much microphone dancing, Ivan. Can John stop with the app just so I got you, Ivan. I can hear you, Ivan. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I'm being like the police officer here, trying to make sure everything's working. So sorry if I sound like a jerk. But yeah, go ahead, Taylor.
Okay, so Nick, to better answer your question, one of the things that I want to highlight to people is that in a sense of ag equipment, what we're offering here is more of a necessity than it is a luxury. And one of the things that we like to focus on is that when we go to protect these pieces of equipment, the dealers know that they're going to be able to retain that value when it comes to trade-in and being able to resell and upsell. In my experience with working with dealerships, they've been very open to the idea of being able to provide this as a service and obviously upcharge it so they can do that and distribute to their customers.
And can I see you, Taylor? Can we see you talking while you're chatting? Because I see John, but again, I'm from the TV background. If I see you and hear you at the same time, I feel like I'm getting to know you and I can hear the message better. So
you'll have to let us kind of play around with the microphones a little bit. I'm having to talk through Ivan's.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just look at that sexy man John over there with those big muscles and tattoos. There you go. There's Ivan. Okay. Can you even start over with the ag? I'm a little discombobulated because I want to make sure everyone can hear. But yeah, you're talking about it being more of a necessity than a luxury?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you still hear me?
I've got you a little echoey, but I think I've got you.
I'm wondering if we got to fix this headset piece here. Ivan, do you want to double check and make sure this is working?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay.
I hear Ivan, but not Taylor. So Ivan, yours is working. His wasn't, from what I can tell.
It's just like $2.
Yep. Well, you'll just have to hang around with me.
Yeah, I guess.
So one of the things that I'm trying to show a lot of our installers is what I've learned in the field is that when it comes to ag equipment, a coating is it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. For what these things go through on a day-to-day basis, they typically cost more than your average Tesla by hundreds of thousands. So it's our job to be able to keep these things as protected as possible, but also raise awareness to the fact that we need to be out here protecting these machines, not because, like I said, it's luxurious for customers to have this, but it's a necessity to keep these from fading. And in my experience with working with dealerships, it's been very good feedback because not only has it allowed them to...
Ivan, when you walked away, I can't hear him. Could you hold the mic? Sorry, again, being the police officer, could you hold the mic out as if you're interviewing him, Ivan, just so I can hear him? I care about the people. I love you guys. Sorry if I sound like a jerk. I'm the audio Nazi here. There we go.
Does that work?
Pardon me for that horrible usage of word. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so in my recollection of working with dealerships, they've always been very positive about being able to offer an ag coating. And what's been really good about that is it allows them to upcharge to their customers as well, and obviously give the customers the best bang for the buck. Now, I work with numerous dealerships across the country. We offer coatings to all of them, and we allow them to upsell that to their customers if the customer doesn't reach out to us already. And that allows them to be able to upsell that, which in my book, we should be, doing this straight from the factory, which is everybody's goal is to, bring much awareness to it so that we can actually get this in the factories where this equipment is being made. But as we speak right now, the awareness needs to be made, which is, with detailers all across the country, being able to land these jobs on ag equipment and do a really good job at making these protected for various years. And that's one of the things that I strive to do with C6 is not only design a coating that's going to do what we want, but it's going to be the best coating for any piece of ag equipment out there tenfold. So that's the biggest thing that we're doing over here at C6 is designing the best coating, period.
Safe to say there's going to be more to come in terms of
there's definitely more to come.
So if you're interested in this as a detailer, trying to really upscale, what you're doing as a business, like Taylor's got you, man. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. Randall,
I'm always open and willing.
Absolutely. Randall Gerlander, and I don't know if Ivan's around, if we've got the mics working yet, but he's asking, what's the lifespan of the C6 glass coating, Ivan?
C6 any glass coating, it's very difficult to give a lifespan to. Depends on what you're doing. It depends on how you're using it. But generally, think of it as any other coating on the market, it's going to last longer. So if you're getting a year out of your glass coating now, you're going to get longer out of it than any other glass coating.
Ivan, I think my favorite car is the Blazer, but Gavin Hughes says, what's your favorite car? That thing is so sexy behind you. But do you have a favorite car
great.
Of all time?
1970, 70 to 73 Volvo P1800 ES.
Oh man, I wish I had a photo of that. I know we've been asked that before. Jetty Costello says, "Is a paint depth gauge really needed? I have the Next PTG, but it doesn't show you how much clear coat you actually have."
Personally, I don't think they're necessary. They're okay to have, but don't rely on a paint thickness gauge.
Especially if we're talking about preserving over perfecting paint, right? We're not going to be that aggressive in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael T, it looks like your comment got cut off. And you said incredible beads in your comment. So I heard your comment, Ivan, but it got cut off and I don't see the question. So feel free to ask that again. Michael T says, is my understanding that Quick Beads, okay, he's applied Hydrolite. He had purchased multiple DIY products. It's my understanding, he asked, that incredible beads, he might be Quick Beads, is no longer useful for any purposes and is not compatible with the hydraulic. I think he means hydrophobics, Ivan.
Yeah, you can still use Quick Beads. It's just that we have C6 Mist that's going to actually do a better job if you have a coated car. If you don't have a coated car, then yeah, Quick Beads is great. On a coated car, Quick Beads is great as well. And there's a lot of uses for Quick Beads. The best use I've ever seen, and a lot of people agree with me, is wheels and grills.
Rutger Moyers says, after using the app, do I need to wash the red pad after use, or can I keep using for the next vehicle? That's a really good question.
Wash it and dry it.
Wash it and dry it.
You can use it for the entire vehicle to finish the whole vehicle, and then once you're done with that vehicle, wash it out, dry it, and you can continue to use them.
So John, we don't need to be we don't use a wet pad, right? Which is contrary to what we've always taught.
Once it's dried out after washing, yeah, you're gonna wash it out, let it dry, then you can put the app on there, and again, we're using a very small amount of the app, so it's just 1 or 2 pea-sized drops per panel, and that'll get enough of the product on that surface to swell that paint to be more absorbent of that ceramic coating.
Right, we're just not using it wet like we normally do in our polishing system, right? When we apply the app, it's just a dry, clean one.
Yep, exactly.
Absolutely. S-Pro Detailing saying, is there any videos about high spots using C6 on the channel? Ivan, maybe you can comment on this, because I know we've talked about, well, you don't want to get a high spot with C6 because it's a more robust coating compared to the DIY coatings. Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, so definitely you don't want a high spot with C6. We have a couple videos on the DIY channel about high spots. We have a Detailing 101 ceramic coating. That is the one that shows high spots the best, what they are, how they work. With C6, if you catch it within that first hour, it's great. It's fine. You won't have to worry about high spots. If you're after that first hour, then you got a lot of problems.
Ivan, are you the shortest of the 3 in the group here?
Yeah, I am, probably.
Dude, Taylor's a giant,
John,
man.
Stand up, John. Yeah, John's
How
taller
tall is
than I
Taylor?
am.
Okay. The 3 amigos here.
6'2", of course.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Grease Bastard is his name, says, when coating, is there a humidity level that should not be exceeded? Because I did the wife's car at 72 degrees with 68% humidity, and I never saw the oil on water look, so I wiped immediately.
Yeah. The higher the humidity, the more challenge you're going to have, if I can put it that way. But you can do it at a higher humidity. The highest I've ever coated was at 90% humidity, so it can be done.
I do have some, I'm the technical service director with C6, so I deal a lot with the installers, so I do have some installers down in Florida that are using C6 ceramics, and they call me about applying that coating and working in high humidity down in Florida. And they said that flash time is just a little bit shorter, so we typically say it's about 1.5 minutes is when you're going to start to see that oil slick on water, and you're going to start seeing that self-leveling. But down in Florida with that high humidity, or somewhere else that would have high humidity, it might be closer to that 20 or 30 seconds, but even then it does have a long dwell time on that surface, meaning you'll have a good amount of time to work that coating in. And back to what Ivan was saying about those high spots, you do have a long window to actually level those down. So if we put those on there, you just do an inspection on the vehicle once you're done, if it's in that first hour, more than likely you'll just be able to level it down. If you get past that 1 hour, that's when you start seeing that curing. That's when that vehicle is safe to go out in the elements. I mean, even if it's raining, the C6 ceramic coatings are going to be safe to go out in the elements. And as long as you don't wash it for that first week, you'll be golden. But yeah, you can still apply it with high humidity. And
How do you recommend they level high spots in that first hour, John?
So we typically say that in the first 15 to 25 minutes, if you see a high spot, more than likely you'll be able to just level it down with the towel. If you get to like 35 to 45 minute time mark, you may need to use a little bit more of that product on that red applicator pad to sort of reactivate that section, and then you can go ahead and level it down. And if you're past that 1 hour mark, which you really shouldn't need to be spending more than an hour to do an inspection on that vehicle, but if you do get past the 1 hour mark, you may need to use a little bit of the app on a microfiber towel to just sort of buff down that high spot. But I mean, again, you shouldn't really need to be spending an hour to make sure you don't leave high spots on there.
And you don't need to recoat if you used app on a towel?
Not if you're in that early window where, I mean, it's curing. So if you have a high spot on there, you can sort of buff it down and level it out. And then if you get past that 1 hour, meaning like the next day, that's going to be too far cured to want to use that app on there. At that point, you're going to need to do a pretty heavy cutting compound, back to a polish, back to reapplying the app, and then reapplying that coating on that entire panel. So you do want to be sure to do that inspection and make sure you do get those high spots taken care of.
Got it. T-Bone Todd is asking, Ivan, when the plastic trim, restore, and protect is coming down to the end of its life, what are the steps to reapply the product?
Clean it and apply again. So unlike a normal ceramic coating that's designed to be applied, or you're applying a normal ceramic coating to plastic, that's actually going to prevent the dyes from going in. When the plastic restore and protect is starting to be at the end of its life, it will accept new plastic restore and protect.
All right, question incoming from Germany. Kai Pirinja. Greetings from Germany to all. Normally it's recommended to wear a mask when applying the ceramic coating. Oh, John's got that C6 card. That is a gorgeous, that's a hard to get. Everyone wants one of those cards. We'll talk about that in a second. But in your videos inside or outside, no one's wearing a mask. Why is it safe is the question.
So our coatings, you don't want them on your skin, but the solvents that we use, the off-gassing from them is not dangerous. If it bothers you, by all means, you want to wear a mask, but in our case, it's not a necessity.
What was that card you had, John? Can everybody get that, or is that just for the C6 professional coatings?
That's just the professional line.
So that's just going to come in the hydro and the diamond gloss, and this will be 1 card per box. And this is for the installer to give to those clients that have the coating installed. So they'll put their name on there, the vehicle, the application date. There's a QR code for them to scan for a little bit more information. But it is a metal card, so it is pretty fancy looking, and it's just a little something to give to those clients so that they can have some more information and just be a part of that exclusive club of a premium coating.
Yeah, those things they're hefty too. They're nice and heavy. It feels like quality in your hand. It's hard to explain. But Gavin Hughes says, Nick and Ivan, what's your thought of the Tesla Cybertruck?
They're cool. I wouldn't own one.
I agree. I think they are very cool as well. Okay, Mary wants to know, and I think, Mary, you met up with her in Chicago, Ivan. Will there be any training coming up for C6 Industrial?
Yes, lots of training for C6 Industrial. Taylor, take it away.
Yes, absolutely. So what we're doing right now is trying to have a little bit more of a personalized approach.
Okay, I can't hear Taylor, so let's get a microphone next to him, please.
I got to stand with you.
He has his microphone on, so.
It's just one of those, I don't know why, but I can just hear.
Oh, you can hear me, Sylvia?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I'm not sure what's going on, Nick, but Sylvia said she can hear me on that. So.
All right, I can't hear you in my headphone. I'm monitoring from the... If we could get you next to Ivan, because I just hear echo now. Sorry, I'm being a jerk. I don't mess around with audio.
No, you're good. So when it comes to our industrial trainings, what I'm going to be doing, which a lot of other companies do not do, is have a more personalized approach to when it comes to one-on-one training. What that means is that I want to have smaller classes of individuals who can come spend time with me in the field, doing a job together, start to finish. And what I want to show them is what you run into with everyday occurrences.
I'm losing you again. When Ivan turns away, I can't hear you, and you're so far from the camera. It's production, Ivan. It's production, my friend.
Yeah, 1 second.
Sorry, because I think people are going to want to reach out about these industrial trainings, Taylor. So, like, I really want them to be able to hear this. Because I'm so fascinated by I never did industrial coatings, and there's so much money I feel like to be made, and it is hard work. But it's a world that most detailers don't understand. So I think I hear you now.
Can you hear me?
No. Still echoey. So just share the microphone, Ivan. Sharing is caring.
Okay, keep talking.
Okay, so when it comes to the industrial setting, obviously you want to have a little bit more of a personalized touch. And that's going to be a beautiful thing about me being the rep is that I'm going to be able to spend a lot of one-on-one time with all of our installers. And what we're going to be able to do is do in-field training. So what that means is that we're not going to set you in a place somewhere where you have to have a suit and tie. What it's going to be is it's going to be down to earth, hands-on training, walking through step by step how we do a job start to finish, and what kind of technicalities you have to watch out for, what you need to do in means of certain examples of scenarios. So if you have low humidity, low heat, high heat, certain paints, everything else. And one of the things that is going to be nice about me doing this is that
Okay, strangely, can anyone else hear you? Because it's like I don't know if Ivan has a mic on, it makes no sense. But I lost you again. Are you back?
Can you hear John?
Can you hear me?
I can hear John just fine, but when Ivan walked away, I thought he literally gave you the mic and walked away. So I don't know what happened.
Probably because you have your other earphone off, Nick.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. People in the crowd, can you hear Taylor when I walk away from him?
Let's just do a
on,
quick.
let's find
Okay. Bruce's Garage says no mic when Ivan walks away, Ivan. I'm on your
Okay.
team, sir. I'm just trying to make sure that people
Yeah.
can hear. So I don't know why, but for some reason, if you have a mic on, it's working and his isn't.
All right.
You do have a mic on. Okay. You made me seem crazy.
Now I got 3 mics on me, so
All right.
hopefully you
Now,
can hear me.
three's good. Okay.
So I want to be personal with the the trainees that I have. And that's the main thing is, I grew up doing this. And what's nice about being in charge of this is that I can help design and develop and modify the certain coatings that we're going to be using. Now, the industrial coating we have now, I will promise you, we will be able to blow anybody and everybody out of the park with just how good our C6 industrial actually is. So when it comes to trainings, I want to be able to have that experience with individuals taking that time to do a one-on-one hands-on. So where you can ask the questions, I can show you the techniques on, practice panels, and we can do a job start to finish to show you just exactly what it's going to be like day to day. So with that being said, we are doing individual trainings. So technically when we do this, I would have the trainees come to me and just tag along with our crew to be able to do a job. And if maybe you have something around your area where you'd like to do a training on, you could provide something that we could do. There's always options of being able to fly in and be able to work with you one-on-one. But I want to be able to have that individual experience where I can spend time with installers really going through the details, because it's not like the polishing and ceramic coating business. There's a lot of different attributes to it, and there's a lot of different things that you really have to watch out for. So being able to be personalized, with the trainer, and being able to ask those hard to ask questions when you have 15, 20 people around you. The individual way that we're doing this, it's going to be a game changer for being able to actually own in on the process and find great success, because like you were saying, there is a lot of money to be made in the industrial setting. And we're just scratching the surface when it comes to this.
How far out are we, and how can they reach out to you if folks are curious about really taking the next step with industrial, Taylor?
So in terms of how far out we are, we're actually right there. We are just about ready to open the doors and be able to offer this to all of our installers. We haven't done the full launch yet. There's a couple of things that we're still working on to be able to, descriptive-wise, to be able to highlight for people on certain bottles. But a few more things we got to do. Then after that, it's going to be off to the races. And then, like I said, we're going to be doing trainings very hardcore. So if you do have interest in doing a training with me and spending time with my team, if that's something that does pertain to you, you can always email me at taylor@c6ceramics.com. And
the other thing about the training, because he doesn't have it yet, but actually we'll have a fully equipped training trailer.
Yep, 100%.
So tell them about your trailer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we heard
So-
about your trailer, man. It sounds amazing. Like, this C6 industrial movement is about to happen, and I think it's going to disrupt the industry. So I just from everything I know as well.
Oh, so the trailer is just going to be the icing on the cake. So we're going to have everything state of the art, top of the line, in a very nice, beautiful trailer that's being built as we speak. And she's going to be decked out in C6 everything. So we're going to have everything we need to get a job done and then some. And that trailer, when we get it, it's going to be sweet. Plus, it's even air conditioned. So
There you go. All
we're
right,
doing
well,
something in Texas, believe me. We'll always stay cool.
that's amazing. All right, we're about 15 minutes behind on questions, Ivan, which I know is an exciting time. Daryl Meharg says, how long should you wait before coating, sealing, or waxing a fresh paint job?
Find out what your painter used in terms of paint, and then go to that paint company's website and find out from them. Painters will traditionally tell you 60 to 90 days. That was really good advice in 1985. That is no longer the advice that we need today. So find out what paint they use, because they'll always tell you 60 to 90 days. Find out what paint they use, what temperature they baked it at, and find out from the paint company what they suggest. A lot of times you can actually coat it the same day.
Okay, great advice. And I would always just say, just reach out to the painter. So the more information you have, the better, right, Ivan? Christopher Brown says, I coated a Volkswagen Tiguan last weekend in 112-degree heat. I barely finished the vehicle. Are ceramic coatings sensitive to heat, i.e. evaporation from bottle while working?
Ask that again, sorry.
Christopher Brown coated a Volkswagen in 112-degree heat. He barely finished vehicle.
Yep.
Are ceramic coatings sensitive to heat, i.e. evaporation from bottle while working?
Yeah, while you're working, just either keep your thumb over it or cap it off. But yeah, they are sensitive to, they're more sensitive to humidity than they are to heat. So if you're working in the desert, you're a lucky person.
HOUJZ05 says, got my hydrolyte ready, just waiting on my new R1S. Aloha from Honolulu. So awesome. Thanks for the support there. Okay, XM Ghost is asking, what do you mean it doesn't show how much clear coat you have? So I think he's asking about these paint thickness gauges, Ivan.
Yeah, so a paint thickness gauge shows you the complete thickness. It doesn't show you the, how do you call it? It doesn't show you the layers. So you've got your E-coat, you've got your primer, you have your base coat, and then you have your clear coat. All you know is the total thickness. You don't know what you're actually working on.
Exactly. Yeah, David Bradshaw just pined in and said basically that as well. And sorry, guys, I'm just trying to keep up on these comments. Okay, Rutger Moyers says, help me out here. Can I use the app with other brand coatings? When I use the app and remove the residue, do I still need to use that brand IPA before coating to make sure the coating bonds?
Yeah, no, you don't need to use the anything else. Once you've used the app, you're good, and the app can be used before any coating on the market because it's not leaving anything on the surface. It's actually making the surface cleaner than any panel prep can do.
Awesome. Fernando Grijalva says, any tips, advice to polish and coat exterior piano black plastic trim with Hydrolite?
Yeah, just a very light polish, and then you can apply it.
Ivan, you keep looking back like you want to tell us what's happening, and we haven't even talked about it. So can you just tell me how fast you guys? Walk
Just making sure the guys are doing a good job, which they are.
Yeah,
but
naturally.
So this whole side of this Blazer is already coated, and we're what, half an hour in? Not even half an hour, because we, by the time we got started. So,
Ivan, what's the next training you're doing?
Next training is in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, the end of this month. So the 31st and 1st. 31st of October, or not October, what month? August. That's the month we're in. 31st of August and the 1st of September.
Do you have
that's
anything
8 days
planned
from
for
now.
Training in the United States?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah.
I get a lot of installers asking me if I was gonna be doing any kind of training with the professional line of products in the United States, but right now it's just traveling to different distribution centers where you can pick up C6 outside of the country or DIY detail products. But yeah, right now it's just those kinds of areas for training.
Yeah.
Everyone's always wanting to get into some training with Ivan. C. Wills asks for the C6 guys, is there a warranty on C6 professionally coated vehicles, assuming you must do maintenance washes with that dealer to stay current? I think that second part was the extension of if there's a warranty, then is this also true? But you guys go ahead and take that question.
So for the professional coatings, we don't have any warranties, just for the fact that a lot of times those warranties aren't really going to help the installer or the clients. It's just going to be a way to sell those products. So with C6, as long as it's applied appropriately, how we described to do it, and it's properly maintained, which for C6, it's just going to be decontamination wash. It's just a standard detailer's wash that you do for those vehicles, then a iron remover, a water spot remover, and that's going to remove any of those contaminations off that surface, which is going to give the best performance of that ceramic coating on that surface for the lifetime of the vehicle.
Ivan, were you trying to say something earlier? I can always tell when you got something to say.
No.
Oh, okay.
You good?
I think we're all settling in after some technical difficulties early, and I think things are going great. Jetty Costello says, what's the coldest you should detail a vehicle? I'd heard around 50 degrees. And is it safe to apply a 5-year ceramic coating at that temperature? Thanks.
It's safe to apply the coating at that temperature. You can actually detail below that temperature if you need to, but for ceramic coatings, keep it 50 and above.
I typically say when you're doing ceramic coatings, if you're comfortable, then that coating is going to be comfortable. So if you like, for example, I live in Las Vegas, I wouldn't want to be trying to put a ceramic coating on a black vehicle in August when it's 120 degrees. That's going to make me uncomfortable. So that coating will be uncomfortable also. So I typically say if you're going to be comfortable in doing it, that those products are going to be comfortable as well.
That's a good rule of thumb, and I think people are still going to want to know at what extreme can I get away with it? Because for some guys, like, am I going to make money today is like the question, right? And they got a job booked. And having been a mobile guy in Utah where it gets real cold and then real hot, sometimes comfort isn't always ideal, but you still want to see if it can happen. So I think that's a really good piece of advice, John. Here's a question. Green Turtle says, can you ceramic gloss after decontamination and waxing first?
Yeah, you definitely can ceramic gloss after a wax if you want to.
Would you wait a
you
certain amount of
should
time,
do the
Ivan? Or?
No need to wait, and you should do the ceramic gloss before the wax.
And then
The
no
other thing is
need
that with
to
C6,
wait
like-
until after
oh, go
the.
ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, with that ceramic gloss, there's not a reason to apply that on top of the C6 ceramic coatings, just for the fact that the performance of the C6 ceramic coating is going to be better than it would be the ceramic gloss or the quick beads. Basically, if you're putting those on top of the ceramic coating, you're going to be masking that performance. It's not going to be negatively affecting it, but that's why we have the C6 mist, is that's going to be that lubrication for drying that vehicle without adding a lot of protection on there. But other vehicles, those products are going to be great for that.
Big O says, I just got into detailing my vehicles and family, and I use DIY Details products, and they are amazing, and I get awesome results. So that's amazing. Thanks, Big O.
Glad to hear it.
David Bradshaw, this is from, 10 minutes ago. He says, you guys need a boom operator. Don't even worry about it. Sylvie's the master behind the
We're
scenes.
doing good now. We got it now.
Yeah, we're good. Gavin Hughes is asking in Saskatchewan, I'm assuming, Ivan, how much and when is the trainings?
Go on our Facebook group. There'll be a post in about an hour and a half explaining it all.
Okay, is that the DIY or the C6?
DIY.
Okay, just DIY detail on
It's
Facebook.
it's a DIY training. So yeah.
Gotcha. Jason Walter says, I'm up here in Northeast Iowa. I'm on your Iowa team, Taylor.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear. I love it. I absolutely love it. The more the merrier.
Bunna Wynn says, can't wait to attend the industrial training. So there's a lot of excitement building for that. Jason Walter says, surrounded by corn and lots of green John Deere equipment, just waiting for coating. That was the same guy, Jason. So
one of the things I want to highlight to a lot of the people that are out there is not only do we have a truly stellar and one-of-a-kind industrial coating that we've produced and are going to be able to offer, but one of the things I'm working on right now is an actual hand-applied ag coating that is going to be revolutionary as well. It's going to be the most durable hand-applied coating that you can put on any piece of equipment. That's going to get you not years, but centuries of protection. If take care properly.
Yeah, centuries might be a little long,
Century.
but yeah.
Well,
Hey.
it's just going to be the best coating, period.
Yeah.
So is that coating going to be applied on top of corrected paint, or can you apply that on top of vehicles that are already oxidized?
Corrected only.
Yeah,
Corrected
so
only,
this is going to
okay.
be a corrected only coating. One of the things we are also working on too is not only do we have a spray industrial, but we are actually working on the hand applied industrial as well.
Yeah, so we'll have, C6, the whole goal behind C6 Ceramics is to provide any solution you need to protect. We already have our PPF, we have our automotive coatings, we have the spray-on ag coating, or ag and industrial. We'll have a wipe-on ag and industrial. We're finalizing the R&D on a solar panel coating.
Nice.
The interior coating, we're actually using the DIY interior coating because we can't get better than that. So
For inside of
there's
the
no
farm
point in-
equipment?
yeah, you can use it inside farm equipment as well, for sure.
Definitely could.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No reason why you wouldn't. And we're working on other things like tire coatings that are actually durable. So basically, if it can be coated, C6 will coat it.
And that really starts to sound like C6 is literally the one-stop shop for just about anything and everything.
When it comes to coatings,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask a question about Hydrolite, so still in the C6 family, but HOUJZ05 is asking, for plastic trim, Ivan, do we apply app, then Hydrolite, or do we just clean plastic trim and then apply Hydrolite directly on trim?
No, app is actually really good on plastics because of its deep cleaning ability, and it actually swallows the clear coat, and clear coat is plastic. So it's going to do the same to the plastic trim. It's just going to brighten it up a little bit and allow that coating to go in deeper.
Mind if I add in on that real quick? So I was actually polishing a couple of tractors here last week, and I had used the C6 app on the fender extensions, which are plastic.
Yeah.
And after rejuvenating that and running that C6 across that, what I had noticed is that it was almost as if it looked coated already. It cleaned it that well and it prepped it that well. So when I put that coating on top of that, it was the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the gloss. I could see my reflection in corrugated plastic, black plastic. It was
Right.
It was very intense.
Cool.
The thing with that is
Just an
when
audio
you can
question,
do
John.
it-
So you're barely better than Taylor's audio, John. I don't know if it's because it's on your hat. When Ivan talks, I feel like I'm hearing the voice of Morgan Freeman. It's so loud and clear. Taylor's kind of unclear, and then John, I think because it's up there, maybe we can. I just want people to be able to hear you guys. You're offering
you hear
so
me
much
now?
good. I can hear you now.
Good.
I'm the audio police here.
No, I get it. No, that I would appreciate it. I was
Were
just
you gonna
say
chime
one
in?
thing
Okay.
about the app is the app is you're going to want to apply that on anything you're going to put that ceramic coating on. So that does mean the paint, the windows, the trim, the wheels, PPF, and vinyl. The app is going to be safe for all of those, and it's going to help that coating bond to that surface better. So you do want to use it on everything.
But you don't want to use app before plastic restore and protect, right, Ivan?
You can. Yeah.
Oh, you can.
We
I thought-
generally will generally recommend to use the gold standard polish because it's a little more aggressive. But yeah, the app, if that's what you have on hand, by all means, have fun with it.
Oh, awesome. Okay, and speaking of using machines and polishers, Taylor asked, "Will I get more gloss with a 3mm palm sander with a red jeweling pad, compared to a 15mm DA with a red jeweling pad?"
The 3mm will give you more gloss.
There you go. Boom. Hey, Bruce's Garage says, "Smash that like button if you're having fun and learning." Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate that. All right. Rutger Moyers says, "Ivan said previously in Facebook comments something about the shocking effect on bugs etching. For example, using bug remover or alkaline foam have worsened the etching in the coating. Can you please explain this?"
Yeah, so basically what's happening when you're putting something that's highly alkaline on a coating or even on a non-coated surface, it shocks the surface. It scars it temporarily. So wait a couple, the beading might go away. Don't be stressed. Don't start polishing. Don't start reapplying a coating. Let it sit for a couple days. The beading will come back.
Okay. And then this is maybe a Ivan and John thing, but R. Vasquez 818 says, "Please provide C6 certified detailers in the Los Angeles area. Thank you."
Go ahead and go to the website, fill out the application. It'll send, after you fill out that application, it'll send you a prompt to select a time slot to have a conversation with me on the phone. We can go over everything at that point. And
No, I think he's asking to get C6 installers in LA.
Yeah, I think
mean,
this guy
we
might
just
be an
gotta find some,
enthusiast
honestly.
who wants
Yeah, I mean,
who wants
they just
someone.
got to apply. If you
Absolutely.
have someone in mind if you're in the Las Vegas area and you have someone in mind, you should
Los
reach
Angeles.
out. Oh, Los Angeles, excuse me. In Los Angeles, you should have them reach out to us on the website and fill out their application. A nudge from a client might help those installers take that leap to apply and get those products available to their clients as well.
Yeah, if detailers out there are watching this and they're like, "I've been thinking about becoming a C6 installer. What should they know about, joining the club, or why would they want to be a C6 installer?" I mean, you guys have C6 shirts on. It's kind of a softball question, but why would I? If I'm a detailer watching this, why would I want to be a C6 installer?
Well, look at who you're working with. Why wouldn't you want to be?
No ego whatsoever here. But yeah, no, to be a C6 installer means to be a better entrepreneur. And that's what we're doing. We're providing you the best coatings on the market, but we're also providing coaching. We're providing all sorts of things to make you a better entrepreneur, to make detailing more profitable for you, more enjoyable for you, and especially better for your customers.
The other thing is the application itself. So the C6 ceramic coating is going to be one of the easiest coatings you can install. It's quick to cure, so it's 1 hour cure time. You get that client back that vehicle. You don't have to have that vehicle sitting in your shop for 3 days waiting for that first layer to cure or anything like that. So the quick turnaround time, getting those clients back those vehicles with a premium coating on it is going to be really beneficial. I mean, the hydrophobics, the gloss, these are all things that are going to be outstanding for this product and why you would want to be an installer of these products.
They're phenomenal coatings. There's no doubt about it. Exceptional details. They're exceptional coatings. Exceptional details. Mobile car detailing as tips for new detailers in the slow season. And I think this is a really good question, guys. And you guys are both working detailers, and Ivan's a detailing entrepreneur coach. So, what do you got for the people?
Start with you.
About trying to stay busy.
Staying busy
In
in
the
the
slow
winter
season.
season, that's
Yeah.
your busiest season.
So I cannot stay home when it comes to wintertime. My workload is literally overflowing And we are talking of tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment a week that we polish and ceramic coat, and now industrial coat. And that's what's great about doing what we're doing here, is being able to advocate diversity in detailing, because everybody, you go into a big city, you always see advertisements of, everybody always underpricing to price gouge other installers and competitors. One of the things that I wanted to specialize in when I got into this is being able to diversify, doing something that not primarily everybody else is doing. And the beautiful part about that is I have found huge success in doing this, and it's carried me through a lot of winter months and kept me busy. Whereas, during spring, summer, and fall months, sometimes, when farm equipment's always rolling in the field, you might not always have the overabundance of equipment to be doing, which is why you go back to doing vehicles. You do construction equipment, you do industrial coatings to help supplement that. But being able to diversify my business and doing ag equipment is what's carried me through a lot of those slow seasons and kept me extremely busy, to where in the winter months I could put a huge stockpile of money away for when I got into spring, summer, and fall. And that's the main thing, is you have to be successful at what you do. You just don't want to run yourself into the ground trying to do it. And competing with somebody down the street, offering coatings for $300 less may not always be the answer. So maybe it's time to get in the vehicle and, hit the countryside and start knocking on some doors.
Yeah, and
Honestly, I think it's great.
I've heard this too many times. Farmers don't want to invest in their tractors. Farmers don't want their tractors polished and coated. That couldn't be further from the truth. The other thing is, you don't need to know tractors. You don't need to be a farmer in order to do this. All you need to do is know how to apply the products. The selling of it is actually rather easy. Farmers are looking for this service.
Oh, 100%. And what's nice about C6 is being able to have a diversified team. So with doing ag equipment, I grew up in ag my entire life. So when it comes to being able to identify what types of equipment there are, and what you're typically going to see when it comes to ag customers, that's where I come in and help. I've been around all of that my entire life, so being able to help my installers if they have any questions with, hey, what is this, or how do I charge for this, and being with my company and with C6 as well, it's allowed me to have a very wide horizon of equipment in my belt. So being able to help installers with what should I charge for this, or what's the process like? That's one of the things that we're going to be focusing on too, is I'm going to be able to start offering the ag polishing courses too.
Yeah.
So on top of the industrial trainings, I'll be doing ag trainings as well. We're not there yet, but we will have that coming down the pipeline, so that I can also offer that kind of incentive to installers as well.
Yeah, and I can just tell you, from when I was detailing, I discovered carpet cleaning chemicals and janitorial, and I was like, maybe I'll become an in-home carpet cleaner. I think I was looking for that thing that, if auto detailing was a little bit tricky in the wintertime, maybe there was something else. And ag seems so fascinating to me from that perspective, Taylor, of a world I don't quite understand, but the people who are doing it well seem to be very financially successful, and as a business owner, that's enticing. So I know we have a lot more to come.
Oh, for sure. Looking forward to it.
A lot of questions coming in. Big O says, is DIY Detail coming to Georgia anytime soon?
Probably in the early spring.
And by that, your bus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're always traveling somewhere, Ivan. Ivan K says, there isn't much info on C6 PPF. Can you provide some information?
Yeah, so C6 PPF is available to installers. We haven't done, we have our trainer, we have all that lined up. We'll be releasing it officially shortly.
Excellent. Nikolai Marinov says, is ceramic gloss compatible with quick beads? Let's say I have applied quick beads after using the pressure washer, but 3 weeks later I'm using rinseless wash. Is it okay to use ceramic gloss at the end? The answer is yes.
100%.
Becca Green says, app on wheels, gloss black here. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
So you would do app and then ceramic coat them?
Yep.
Excellent.
App the world.
App the world. Jetty Costello says, thank you guys for answering all my questions. DIY Detail is top notch. Appreciate you. C. Will says, Ivan, can you foresee the DIY Detail 3, 5, 8 year coatings going away as you improve and offer more consumer C6 coatings?
No, the 3, 5, and 8 year are spectacular coatings. We're actually working on the next version of them that will be coming eventually, but the R&D process is still there. We're always improving, we're always getting better. The DIY coatings are there to stay. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely. But we're always trying to innovate and improve, and we're never resting. T-Bone
Yeah.
Todd says, hey, Ivan, what are your thoughts on applying a wax on top of a ceramic coating?
Wax is actually great on top of a ceramic coating. If you're in an area that you have a propensity to water spots, you have a sprinkler you can't avoid, or your coating's 2 or 3 years old and it's starting to be a little scratched up or marred up, by all means. We have a wax coming shortly. I know I've been saying that for a long time, but the R&D process, we can't rush it. But that wax fills, it does a great job. It's a lot of fun to use, and yes, it can go on a coating.
Ivan K, once again with the question, says, can you explain the app on matte paint, please?
Yeah, so we did a vehicle the other day. I've been testing app on different matte surfaces for a while just to make sure that it's safe, and the app is safe. So we did a BMW with frozen paint. Part of it was the frozen paint. Part of it was actually matte PPF. Did a great job on both. There'll be a video coming soon on the DIY channel. But yes, you can use the app on a matte surface.
Without doing that testing, previously we were saying you don't want to be using app on those surfaces because it does have a very fine abrasive in it. And so that's where that enhancement comes when you use the app. But we had some concern that maybe it would be shine up those matte surfaces. But after doing testing, we're not getting those results. So it is going to be safe on those surfaces.
Yeah.
And Ivan, maybe you could just pass the mic to Taylor just because the quality difference is so drastic when he talks versus you. Might as well just do it.
Taylor or John?
Taylor, because this next question is ag. It's from XM Ghost. John, I really don't hear you very well either, but at least you have a mic.
We'll put the mic in the middle.
Yeah, or you could just hand it back and
Yeah,
forth, honestly. We're at the point 82
Yeah.
people are still watching. They just want to be able to hear you guys. XM Ghost says, can you give us an example of how you would approach a potential agricultural coating customer that may never have heard of a ceramic coating before, especially on something like heavy machinery?
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody who owns any type of equipment, especially used equipment, they're going to know what their paint looks like. And if they don't, what I always say as an avid detailer is, inform them of what happens to their paint when it's susceptible to all these types of damages that, they're present on a day-to-day basis. So one of the things that I would always do is, you walk into a farmer somewhere. It's just like, oh yeah, I farm over here. It's, oh yeah, well, what type of equipment do you have? And you start asking him, and he'll ramble on a bit, and he's like, well, how well do you take care of it? How does it look? One of the things that is really detrimental in that is, single stage paint on ag equipment. It is so easy to transform, but it's also very easy to break down. And being able to approach a customer and say, this is what I specialize in. Show them a picture of a test panel that you did with some single stage paint. Put a tape line right down the middle and say, this is what it looked like. And then, polish the other half of it and say, this is what I made it look like. And this is what I can make your equipment look like as well. A lot of customers really enjoy seeing, previous results that you have because it gives you validity in, what you'd be able to do for them.
And another way to entice.
Oh, pass that mic, would you please, John or Taylor?
Another way to entice the equipment owner, very simple. Say if you go to auction, you're looking at 2 units with the same number of hours, same age. One is shiny, one is dull. Which one are you buying, and how much more are you paying for the shiny one?
People like
Absolutely.
shiny.
Absolutely. Okay, great advice. LR is asking, if I have C6 Hydro Glass and C6 Hydro Light, what's the best product to use on the side and rear windows and headlights? Obviously, we'll use Hydro Glass on the windshield.
Yeah, can you hear me? Well,
I
this is
got
good?
you. There we
Or
go. There we go. That's nice and loud. No, I got you.
We'll
now.
double up. Yeah, so the Hydro Glass is going to have better performance on the glass surfaces just for the fact that it has a little bit more durability to that physical abrasion, like the windshield wipers, those windows going up and down, that will wear down any coating in general. I mean, same thing with the automotive coatings on the paint. I mean, if you have any abrasion on there, that's going to wear those down. So the glass coating is going to be better for the glass surfaces. Hydro Light will be great on the headlights. That will work well. I mean, you could put the glass coating on there. No?
Because it's plastic.
Oh, plastic. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So maybe if they're old and they're glass, you could put them on there. But yeah, you want to use Hydro Light on those the headlights and the taillights.
Oh, I think you actually did say Hydro Light, but maybe you thought you said Hydro Glass. Anyway, you guys are awesome. I'm listening. Maybe I'm not listening that well. Mike Hoffman says we need some C6 swag. Gavin Hughes says that you actually have a Patreon that shows behind the scenes or like a pirate Discord. That sounds interesting. I'd be down for that. The DIY Detail Facebook page, Ivan, is just so robust anyway. So it's like, how many pages can you have? But I know Discord's a thing. By the way, John, Mod Auto Detail says John is awesome to work with. So
Thank you.
Sam
beg to
Squatch
differ.
says Detailer's Business Academy is a fantastic resource for the slow months. So thanks, Sam. And okay, good question from Kelly Enlow. When will the new DIY detail polishing pad cleaner be available?
So we have that. It's called our rinseless wash, but we
256
have
to 1.
256 to 1, obviously. Yeah, but we have our polishing pad, like the actual machine, coming soon. So probably release somewhere around SEMA.
So something that will hopefully help people who don't want to spend all that money on a pad washer but still provide great results. So just as a little teaser for everybody. Jimbo
Exactly.
Slice asked a question. This is for polishing out there. Like, have you tried the Griot's G9 polisher? I'm a weekend warrior looking to buy that.
G9's a great little polisher, yeah.
That was one of the first ones I started with, so I do recommend that.
Gavin Hughes says, what age do you need to be to become a C6 installer? I feel like Gavin's such a familiar name on our channel. I don't know if he's 16 or I don't know. How old are you, Gavin?
There's no age limit. As long as you're a legitimate business.
The youngest installer I've had so far is 17, and he's killing it. I was blown away by his entrepreneurship and his ability to pull clients. I mean, it was extremely impressive to talk to someone being only 17 and still finishing high school, to have that sort of drive and understanding of business sense to be doing the work he's been doing.
Heck yeah. Daryl Meharg says paste wax is not dead. Yeah, Daryl, I hear you on that one. Who's05 says, Ivan, when can we purchase your battery-powered dual-action polishers?
Eventually. Probably not till early next year.
Okay. This may be a question for John, or just a little heads up. A guy named Aaron Grant says, can someone approve my C6 installer Facebook request? Thank you. Hello from New Zealand. So there you go.
Oh, New Zealand. So if you're outside of the country, I won't see those applications. They'll work with their distribution by themselves. So if those come through, we do have some moderators from outside of the country that would handle those. But
Okay.
you can email me directly at john@c6ceramics.com, and I'll take care of that for you. We can do it right when we're done here.
Cool. Actually, Aaron asked another question too. App on wheels, do we just wipe it on as I can't get a polisher and all the parts?
Yeah, wipe it on, wipe it off.
Okay. And then
Just
a
has to
question
get
for
on that surface to be able to help with that coating. So wipe it on and with a towel or whatever you need to get it on there.
An applicator, maybe?
Applicator, that'd be perfect as well.
Coop says, Ivan, what detailing products do you put in your mustache? Obviously an important question here.
None at all. It's just
Natural.
Yeah, it's natural. After 30 some years of doing this, it does it by itself.
It's just ceramic buildup.
Yeah.
Praditpa Dutta says, I'm planning on a one-step polish of one of my Teslas before applying C6 Hydro Light. Do I need to wipe out with panel prep prior to applying app?
No need.
It depends on what polish you're using.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're
Oh,
going
yeah,
to
if
be
you're not
using
using
gold
gold
standard
standard.
polish, the reason we want to recommend that is you can just do the rinseless damp and towel to actually remove that polish from that surface. If you were to be using another product, we can't be sure what those other companies are going to be using in those polishers. So if they have fillers or any kind of solvents, if those aren't removed from that surface, it will negatively affect the ceramic coating bonding to that surface. So if it's gold standard polish, just a rinseless damp and towel. Other products you're going to want to do at minimum an IPA rinse. If you use something that has a lot of dusting, you're going to want to probably do a full wash just so those little particles aren't interfering with that coating on that surface.
And preferably, like, I don't know, IPA or panel prep, right? I think the term is IPA. We just have said that so many times, but we probably want the panel prep. Right, Ivan?
Yeah, IPA should stay in your medicine cabinet.
But it's almost like Kleenex, where you just like say it, but it's more of a brand name. Like the whole idea is like you want a prep stage in between if you're using another brand's polish, just because we want to triple check no polishing oil. Yeah, like John said, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know what you meant. Fab Automotive Detailing says, wish I could stay, but I'm in the middle of cleaning a big green tractor. Thanks for an awesome weekend last weekend. I learned so much.
Excellent, Fab.
Oh my gosh.
Looking forward to seeing the content, Brian.
Yeah, that was such a fun time with those guys. Gavin Hughes says I'll be 15 at the end of August, so he's only 14 right now. He's getting it, man.
So I started professionally detailing and charging customers, being licensed and insured when I was 12 years old. You're 15, you're 3 years ahead of me. Go for it.
Was that like 100 years ago?
105, yeah.
Was it 1890?
Black and white.
Yeah.
Black and white TVs and rotary phones.
Did
And
they even have cars back then? Polishing the horse and
Buggies, come on. You know.
Westcat 2 says just got home. Hey everyone before they go. All right. Mario Santano says love. Frances Leclerc says hi guys. Shay from Shay's Luxury Detailing in Hawaii. Holy moly, I just so happen to have a small break between jobs. Catch one of these finally. Aloha. Mahalo guys. What's up, man? Thanks for watching.
Yeah, and Shay is our C6 distributor in Hawaii and also DIY distributor in Hawaii. So Shay's Luxury Detailing, if you're looking for any DIY detail supplies or C6, Shay's your man.
Hey, we only have 2 questions left. We're at about an hour, so let's just wrap this up. You guys has been very tight, very good. Liam Beto says, I have my first DA on order. What do you recommend to dampen the pads on an entry budget? And for cleaning, is it just specialized brushes?
For dampening the pads, you said, Nick? Or cleaning?
Yeah, and he didn't say it was our polisher, and so I don't know, because there's some polishers out there, like I've used like forced rotation or like even the root best polishers don't do great in pad washers. So certain polishers don't actually do great with the pad washer. So if it's our polisher, then you want to use the pad washer, right? You want to use the entire system we teach Yvan. But yeah, his question was like, his first DA is on order. What do you recommend to dampen the pads? And then he talks about cleaning, and then he asks if you should clean them with brushes. So it's kind of a confusing question, but.
Right, so you can use a rinseless wash, just spray it on and then brush it, or use a rinseless dampened towel for that matter and run the pad up against it.
Excellent. That's why you're the expert, Ivan. Nikolay Maronov says, I've never applied a wax before. How would the upcoming DIY detail wax be different than ceramic gloss or quick beads?
So ceramic gloss or quick beads are definitely easier to apply. A wax requires a bit of effort. Think of it as a form of detailing meditation. But you apply it, you let it haze over, and then you wipe it off. Our wax can be used in direct sunlight. It can be used outside. You can let it sit for an hour or 2 hours if you want. It's super easy to wipe off. But at the same time, you actually want to let it sit for a while. So like ceramic gloss that you wipe on, wipe off, and you're done. This, you'll wax the whole car to apply it, and then come back and take off the residue.
So Ivan, if you don't mind me chiming in on that, I'm pretty sure that's what I had the
Yeah.
privilege of being able to test out
Right.
The other day. And I actually did it on a tractor, and it took me back to when I first started out. I was polishing and waxing tractors, and
Yeah.
it really took me back. But the ease of application was awesome. I'll tell you what, and the results for what it was amazing.
Yeah.
And super easy to use. It's definitely going to be a heck of a product. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it's basically we designed it as a non-abrasive wax, so there's no abrasives in it, so it's not going to interfere with any coatings. But at the same time, it fills. So Friday night you're thinking of going to Cars and Coffee Saturday morning. Apply the wax Friday night, Saturday morning, wipe it off, drive to Cars and Coffee. Or this is something that I've actually seen people do, and that is apply the wax Friday night, drive to Cars and Coffee. When they get there, then they wipe it off.
Oh, wow. What a bold move.
I've never heard that.
Marcus Slade bought our 5-year coating, loves the products, but just a big shout out to DIY Rinseless. It's been a revelation. Thank you, Marcus. Man, it's such a great product. Someone on a recent video was like, you could even use it as a, windshield wiper fluid. I'm like, yeah, as long as it doesn't go below freezing, like it's that versatile. Shoe cleaning, phone screen cleaning, car washing, interior detailing, the whole 9 yards. 256-1 dilution for DIY detail rinseless wash. Exceptional Detail says, where can I access Detailer's Business Academy? And also, what is app?
So YouTube for Detailer's Business Academy, and app, take it away, John.
App is the adhesion promoter polish that will go on before you put that ceramic coating on, and it's going to help that ceramic coating bond to that surface, and it will be required for the C6 professional line, and it is a wonderful adhesion promoter for any ceramic coating in general.
Yeah, not just C6 coatings, right? It's a great preparation.
Correct. Yep. It'll
Step
be great
for
for
all
anything.
coatings.
Yep.
And it also smells really nice. Coops asks, is there an option to change price to GBP and deliver to the UK? I went on the website for DIY, couldn't see anything for this. Wanted to buy the dual action polisher.
So the polishers are on the way to the EU and the UK. As far as the pricing goes, we have a lot of distributors in the UK and the EU. If you go on our website, you'll find a distributor list. You can go there and you'll find them.
Mary's looking forward to industrial. We've got Umberto saying the last generation to have antenna radios, TVs with black and white, and then colored, then no antenna and cable. That is true. Danny says, he has a question for Ivan. Like, what foam cannon, do you like the MTM or the MJJC? I like the MJJC, Ivan. What is your choice?
Yeah, MJJC all the way. The MTM, as far as I'm concerned, very overrated.
Yeah. And there's lots of them. Actually, Cars with Keeve dropped some knowledge on a podcast that we're going to drop soon where I kind of picked his brain. So stay tuned for another podcast. They're every Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern time on our YouTube channel. Very rarely are they live, so we appreciate everybody sticking with us. But Cars with Keeve picked his brain about some of the off-brand foam cannons that may be as good as MJJC but cheaper. So stay tuned for that. S Pro Detailing says, wax, it's dead, Ivan. And then Umberto says, wax is not dead. But yeah, obviously wax is not dead. We're developing one, so stay tuned for that. Gonzalo Rodriguez says, use the grit guard to clean the pad like a pad washer. What do you think about that, Ivan?
Depends on the grit guard you have. Some grit guards can actually damage your pad more than you think, so be careful with that.
Dan Nissan says, I used to apply Zymol carbon wax with my bare hands as the applicator, LOL.
Yeah, that was a thing. And yeah, you warm it up between your hands and apply it. I have so many calluses on my hand, I'd be scratching the paint. So you're probably the same. Yeah.
I'm surprised his bear claws didn't scratch the surface with his bare hands. He said he used bare hands. So.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, bear.
Is that a dad joke?
Yeah.
Is that a dad joke?
Wow.
John?
It was a joke. It was a joke. I got a 1-year-old now. I can make dad jokes.
Just had a 1-year-old birthday. You got to pull out all the dad jokes.
I'll pull them all out.
Wow.
I have a book of dad jokes. I actually have a dad joke calendar, but that's not why people showed up to this live stream to hear about the nonsense. Ivan K says, I'm still an advocate for a painter's tray and cleaning pads. That's kind of a trick that Ivan has shown on our Facebook page, and that works really good.
Yep.
All right, here's a good question, Ivan. And we do have a YouTube short coming out soon, also Instagram and TikTok. If you haven't found us there, please do subscribe. But Tiong on Saint says, Legacy sponge is still dirty, even though I dipped it in rinseless with the right dilution. What other ways can I clean the sponge?
Put a bit of all clean on it, massage it in, and rinse it out.
KS says, will using the palm sander and a yellow waffle pad with the gold standard do any correction at all?
Yeah, we'll do actually more correction than most people think.
Daral Meharg says, wax is not dead. Oh, Mike Kaufman says, update on the C6 soap.
C6 soap, still in the R&D process. We're not happy with it yet. Until we're happy with it, it's you can use Incredible Suds or rinseless wash.
We're not going to release something that we're not happy with, so it just takes a little bit of time.
Absolutely. Ryan L., friend of the channel on C6. Love the lives. Thanks for taking the time out to do them. That's the end of the questions we have so far, Ivan, John, and Taylor. Anybody have any final thoughts? I thought this was really good. Like, we got to know you guys better. I'm super excited for Industrial. I hope other folks are too.
Well, it's been, almost an hour since we put the coating on this truck. Let's throw some water at it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's do it. So that's legal? We're not violating the cardinal detailing rules?
Yeah, so after 1 hour, that vehicle is going to be safe for water to be on there. So since it's been about 1 hour, the coating is going to be safe to be able to put water on it.
And we were just running and gunning with this podcast earlier. Which coating did you apply? Which C6? Was it Diamond?
C6 Diamond.
Okay.
No,
So what's the difference between Diamond and Hydro?
So Diamond is going to be the Sorry, I was just waiting to see how that was going to be. Diamond is going to be extremely glossy while also being hydrophobic, as you can see. Hydro is going to be extremely hydrophobic while also being glossy. We typically say that Hydro might be better suited for that daily driver, someone that might be out in the elements a little bit more, someone that might benefit from those self-cleaning properties a little bit more. And Diamond Gloss might be better suited for that weekend driver, someone that's going to Cars and Coffee, a couple times a month. But either one is going to be good for either application. It just comes down to which one that client wants and what kind of fits their lifestyle a little better.
Ivan, what are we looking at on the panel? And also, can you say which DIY coating is the easiest to apply for a first timer?
The easiest to apply is actually the 8-year. And then the 3-year and 5-year is the one that's the most challenging. C6 Hydro Light is also extremely easy to apply, but you can see the hydrophobics on this. Like even the really small beads are having a problem hanging on. So.
If folks don't
And this
know what
coating is far.
if folks don't even know why hydrophobics are important. Like I can see water beading and rushing down the panel, but what's the benefit of hydrophobics?
Self-cleaning ability. The more hydrophobic it is, when it gets wet, it's going to carry the dirt away with those droplets.
And And I appreciate that answer, Ivan. It's a really good one. Becca says, just have to say how much I love the live question and answer episodes. Thank you. Thank you, Becca. And then Hassan asked a kind of a basic question that, it's like, we have a lot of videos to answer these, but does Ivan have a video dedicated to how to develop a standard operating system? And how should I go about doing it?
There are a lot of videos on the Detailers Business Academy about standard operating procedures, but the easiest way to do it, take your camera, take a video of yourself doing the job, and then enumerate all those steps. Then once that's done, give what you've written out to someone that's never detailed before, that's never been in your environment. And every time they need to ask a question, that means your SOP needs to be refined. Most companies, when developing an SOP, it's a 6 to 12 month process.
Oh, okay. So don't feel like you have to get it all right the first time. Like it will evolve.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
And then TRD Pro 2 GRK FKS says, we would love it if you guys touched on undercoatings for chassis, suspension, and winter care.
Yeah, so find a good rust proofing company and go to that. It's not really a detailing thing.
Ryan L says, add pictures to your SOPs. That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, pictures and videos, because your SOP doesn't necessarily have to be a written paper document. It can be a file that you can share with your employees.
Wow, look at that water beading. And
yeah,
this Blazer with the top off is so stunning. Like when I was there, it had with the shell. What would you call it? The shell, the top.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. It looks so amazing. Hassan said thanks for the answer. So, what are you doing over there, Ivan? Those different settings.
John's gonna quickly give it a pass with the drying blanket. Show you how easy it is to dry.
There you go.
Well, I think we're in over an hour, Nick, so
yes, sir.
We'll call it a day. We'd like to thank everyone for joining us. Thank you very much. It's it's been fun for us. Hopefully it's been fun for you. If you have any additional questions that we weren't able to answer, please ask them in the questions below. We will answer your questions.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.